Hello everyone! Welcome! This is the first day of our fabulous birthday series, which we'll be doing all this week. So, hello, if you're joining me live, do say hi in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. Lots of people chiming in already, which is beautiful. Thank you all for saying hello. I'd love to know, my big question of the day is something you're celebrating today. So this is a little bit like that whole gratitude thing that people do, but I like to look at it as something you're celebrating. So we've done this for a long time in our Facebook group. Many of you will be familiar. We have a Success Story Saturday, and we encourage members of that group to share something that went well this week. And every day this week, I'm going to ask you to come up with something different that went well that day or just recently. What could you celebrate today? And I think this is especially important if you're having a hard day. Now, you may know what I'm celebrating all this week, which is that Vibrant Music Teaching is turning 6, which I can hardly believe. It's old enough to go to school in most countries now, not just in Ireland. We start school at age 4 here, for reference. Okay, hello everyone. Hello to Sarah, and Sandra is here, and Rachel is here. Janelle, Helen, Tiffin, Juliet is in the house, Rachel, different Rachel, Mindy, Christy, oh my gosh, so many people. This is awesome. Laura is here, and Elizabeth, and Sharon. Oh my gosh, thank you all so much for coming to the birthday party. I really appreciate it. So, let me say a bit about how this is going to work this week. So today, it's our first day of 5. The lives are at the same time every day, except for the last day, which is later. That's just one of the things about being a teacher. I have to teach until 2:30 my time on Saturday, so it's at 3. It's an hour later than this one. But every other day is the same time. So this time, every day until Friday, 1 hour later on Saturday. If you can come to all of those, that would be amazing. But if you can only make some, that's fine too. We spend a week every year doing some kind of celebration like this with little different things each year. This year we did a road trip in the lead up to this. You may have seen that in your emails or on social, on Instagram, etc., where we visited different places around the world. You can still catch all those videos if you're curious, the places we went together to get here to Dublin for our birthday party. And we do this because we want to celebrate Vibrant Music Teaching. We want to celebrate the lovely flamingos who are members and all the great work they're doing, and this spirit of kind of moving teaching forward, teaching differently, questioning how we do things, but all with an air of levity and fun. And that's why I do something a little bit different every year, because I want us all to have fun. And I hope you find my crazy little ideas for these celebrations fun too. It helps me have fun anyway, so that's what it's all about. Us having fun together as a community. So every day that I do these lives, we will have a prize drawing as well. So I have some presents behind me. Now, when I had a less good camera, you could see them more clearly. Now they're more blurry because that's how good cameras are. But there are 5 presents behind me. So there's yellow and green in the top shelf up there. And then you can see a blue one vaguely, and then a red there, and then that's a purple one. That's the hardest to see at the moment. Okay? So every day I'm going to draw someone's name. Now the names come from members who have submitted the form on the site. If you're a member of Vibrant Music Teaching and you haven't submitted that form, but you'd like to win a prize, that's in the description below. So you should, or to the side, wherever it is. So you should be able to see that, and you go to that link. It only works for members. Submit your details, and that way you might win a prize, which is fun. And here on the live stream, I'm going to let you choose which color each day that we open. Obviously, the last day, it'll be, there'll be one left. But every other day, you'll choose. And we'll open it because it's colourful and it's fun. And yeah, we don't need any other reason, right? Okay. So that's what's happening every day. And then we also have a special topic each day. And today we're talking about creativity. So along with hearing your celebrations of something you've done, something that's happened in your studio, I want to hear those every day. So add those in the chat. I'd also love to hear what creativity means to you as a teacher. What does it mean to be a creative teacher? just what does that translate to in your mind, in concrete steps, or in the kind of teacher that is, or what their lesson looks like? What does that mean to you? Because it's quite an open-ended thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about in just a moment. Before we get there, I want to remind you of a couple of things. So, number one, if you haven't seen it, we launched a new practice app last week. This isn't a Vibrant Music Teaching thing, really, although it's all connected. It's called Vivid Practice. Just wanted to mention it in case you haven't seen it. There's big news, if you've missed that last week, is that Tanara closed down, or is closing down. So people have until November to change their practice app if they're using one. And Vivid Practice is another option. We'll be doing a live stream, me and Samantha Coates, on Thursday. If you can come along to that, that'd be awesome. It's at an earlier time than this, so some of you may be asleep. But yeah, it should be fun. She's going to interview me about the app and sort of philosophies behind it, and ask some of the questions that are on all of your minds, because she used Tanara as well, so she kind of is coming from the same perspective as a lot of you. And then the other reminder is that the price is going up. So if you're not a member, now is the time to sign up. The price is increasing on September 18th. Now, listen to me carefully, okay? If you are a current member, if you're already a member of Vibrant Music Teaching, your price is not changing. I never ever do that, okay? So make that super clear. If you're a member already, your price will not go up. If you already have a membership, your price never changes. That's the guarantee. That's kind of one of your rewards for being loyal and staying with us. So your price will never change. It's only for new people who sign up after September 18th, it will be a higher rate. Okay? So if you've been thinking about signing up for a while, again, go to vibrantmusicteaching.com, sign up for a membership, and then you're locked in at that slightly lower rate before the price increases. Okay. So let's talk about creativity. Huh? What does it mean to you? I've been thinking about this in preparation for this session, obviously, and it's such a nebulous question. It can mean so many different things, right? Many people think of, like, in the context of piano anyway, they'll think of being a creative teacher means you teach improvisation and composition, and maybe arranging. And that's not what it means to me. Because, especially composing, but even the other two, even arranging and improv, they could be non-creative. We can do them in non-creative ways. And I've seen this myself. The type of composing that is taught in schools here for students who choose music as one of their final school exams. We get some choice in our subjects towards the end of school. And if they choose music, the composing they do in that exam is not even one iota of creative. They could do it creatively, but really the game is follow these rules, modulate in exactly this way at bar 9 or whatever it is, and you will get the points, right? So composing doesn't have to be creative. Improvisation, I guess, most of the time, but really we couldn't be following a formula, repeating what someone else did. It doesn't have to be entirely creative or have unique thoughts built into it, right? And at the same time, you could teach classical music in a creative way. So let me know if this is how you think about it too. To me, creativity, has always been about problem solving. Thinking about creative, different solutions to a problem. And I mean problem in the broadest sense. Problem could be, my student can't read. I want to teach them to read. What is a different way that I could think about doing that? And that's a very broad example, but you get the idea. A problem could be anything. A problem could be, my parents aren't reading emails in my studio. So there's many different possible solutions to that, and you could get very creative or just take the problem as you see it. One of my favorite examples of this way of thinking, I know this example from Seth Godin, but it's shared many other places. And that is about bikes. So for years and years and years and years, people taught kids to ride a bike by giving them training wheels, right? So you put the training wheels on the back of the bike and it makes it stable and you pedal along. And then at some point you have to take the training wheels off and the kid has to learn to balance. But Seth Godin's point and other people's point on this is that that's misunderstanding the problem. The problem with cycling a bike, the hard part about cycling a bike, is not pedaling. If it was, that would be the right way to train for it. But the hard part is balancing. And so by spending several years with training wheels and pedaling around, you're only learning how to pedal. And you don't think balance is anything, right? Not that kids are thinking about it, but this is the lesson you're learning implicitly in that. But the hard part of riding a bike is the balance. And that's why at some point someone invented those bikes that little kids have now a lot that have no pedals, and the saddle is lower down, so the kid has their feet on the floor and they're pushing themselves around with their feet, but they're learning to balance. And that makes the transition to using a bike much easier. I actually remember this before those were a big thing. Now maybe they already existed, but before they really took off, those little bikes that don't have pedals. I actually remember knowing this from my mum. So my mum, her background is working with special needs issues with kids, basically. And they had a workshop at where she used to work at one stage, where a guy came around to teach all the kids how to ride a bike. And he did exactly that. He took all the pedals off them and lowered the seats down. And they learned by going around balancing, and then they're able to transition much more easily to pedaling. So I know that seems off topic from music teaching, but it's about this idea of what creativity is. If you just look at that bike and say, the problem is that they can't ride a bike, I'll make it easier, I'll put these, the back wheels on, then you're misunderstanding the problem. And that to me is creativity. Now that's not like some definition out there, it's not official, but that's what it means to me. So I'd love to hear what it means to you. Teresa said, my thoughts about being a creative teacher is being able to engage my students in a variety of ways within the framework of developing skills and unwrapping their personal, unique musicality. I love that. Janelle says, creativity to me is figuring out how to get students to where they want to be, whether it be a song they want to learn or a skill they need to master, and being willing to do whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes, but not just the direct path. That's another way to understand it. Creativity is about taking sometimes the indirect path or the unexpected one, or to use the too common phrase, thinking outside the box, right? Thinking outside the framework of what you expect this problem solution to be. So that's what it means to me. Keep adding what it means to you. Now, to me, that doesn't mean that creative skills aren't important. So I think about those as creative skills just to define what I'm talking about. Improvisation, arranging, composing. Those are the creative skills that have been left out of a lot of classical music teaching for a long time and are creeping their way back in, or sometimes snowballing their way back in. And we love to see it. We absolutely love it, right? So those creative skills are important because they can let us express ourselves creatively. They're not the only way, but they're another tool and an important tool to do that. And they're also important for understanding music and all sorts of other things, right? So they are a tool that allow us to express ourselves rather than being something that you should include because you must be a creative teacher. Because you won't be a creative teacher just by doing them. Another definition is about thinking outside the box, switching things up on a dime. Nice. So the spontaneity factor or the kind of improvisation, but within teaching, even when you're a type A teacher. I love that. So, I do think we need to teach these creative skills. I think they're super important. But I think we need to understand what it means to be a creative teacher goes way beyond that. It's about thinking about our students' problems or where they need to go, as Janelle said, and thinking about our solution, our ways of getting them there, and adapting when we need to try different methods, different tools. Now, with the creative skills, often the biggest difficulty for teachers is finding time. Let me know if that describes you. If you want to teach improvisation, composing, arranging, but you can't find the time in your lessons. Is that where you're at? Or are you like, I don't want to teach it? Or are you saying, I do teach it all the time and I find the time? A lot of teachers struggle to fit these things in. And to me, again, thinking maybe creatively about this, I don't think that's the real issue. The real issue with fitting these things in is how you're thinking about them. If you try and squeeze them into your already packed lesson, it's not going to work because you literally do not have the time, right? It's not like many of us get into a lesson and get to 25 minutes of 30, if they're 30-minute lessons, and start twiddling our thumbs and saying, well, that about wraps up what we wanted to do. Shall we just chat for 5 minutes? I mean, how often does that happen to you? Because it doesn't happen to me. We're all packed for time. Even if we teach for 1 hour at a time, we're packed. So trying to wedge in the creative stuff, the improv, the composition, whatever you want to do, that never works. Or it may work momentarily, temporarily, because you're really focused on it, and then you get sidetracked and your student is struggling with some reading skill and you just, it falls by the wayside again. So, to me, the most effective way to be a creative teacher, to include creative skills as well, is to think about these as tools for teaching things you want to teach. Now, that can be easier said than done, but when you really get used to doing this, it makes a huge difference. I call this creativization. So there's a webinar on that for members in the training library. If you're curious about creativization, my silly made up word. The idea is to take something you have to teach anyway, like a scale, a rhythm pattern, any theory concept at all. You can shoot them at me if there's when you can't think of a way to improvise with. Take that and make it into an improv prompt to introduce your student to that concept or to further solidify it if you've already introduced it. And that then makes the piece you're doing easier to learn, so it actually doesn't take up as much time. But if we see them all as separate segments, we're never going to cram them all in because there's too many and we can only move so fast from one to the other and so fast through each segment, right? Otherwise, we just feel like our student is going to get whiplash. They're just going way too quickly and they're not digesting any of it. So, start to plant that seed. If it hasn't been something you've looked at before, whenever you're planning your lessons, looking at what your student is about to learn, ask yourself, is there a way that we could improvise, compose, or arrange to introduce this, to reinforce it, that would make it easier to learn the piece, and they would get improv in, and it would all be done, wrapped up in one beautiful bow, rather than all these separate items. That's the food for thought. The other little suggestion, which helps a lot, even if you're already walking down that path, but you're finding it hard to really fit it in consistently, anything that you are struggling to fit in, but you want to prioritize, literally prioritize it by doing it as the first thing in the lesson. It's a simple suggestion, but believe me, it works. By just putting the thing as the first thing, you will do it because it's the first thing. And you haven't gotten sidetracked by that fingering issue that still hasn't resolved itself or whatever the case may be. Right? So, those are my suggestions. Keep adding yours in the chat. Love hearing your opinions about this as well. Helen said about creativity, helping a student to bring out their personality, inner world, being confident to express themselves from the inside out, rather than just learning music from the outside in, right? This is a particular piece, a way to play a particular piece correctly. I love that, Helen. That's fantastic. So I hope those tips to fit in the creative skills helped. And I hope as well that thinking about what this creative teacher thing is helps you to see yourself as already creative or could be creative. Because it's not something that only some people can do or are. Just like if adults or kids even tell you they're just not musical, how does that make you react, right? Because to me, that breaks my heart a little bit. And my instinct, depending on the context of the situation, is to say, no, you're a human, therefore you are musical. It's just the way you were taught or the experience you have, or you're not interested. That's all fine. But you're not musical or musically gifted or whatever. And that's the same reaction I have to people who say they're not creative. You can be creative in so many different ways. It doesn't mean you're this like floopy all over the place person, right? It doesn't have to mean that at all. You can be, as was said before, type A and still be creative. It doesn't always have to mean spontaneity or not having a plan. It's about thinking about things differently. At least to me, that's what it means. Okay, we are going to draw the winner of our prize, but keep adding your thoughts about creativity and your things you're celebrating today. I love reading these. Sherry added, celebrating my students coming back this week after summer break. Woohoo! That's awesome. Mine were back last week. And Sarah said, celebrating that I made my first video lessons for students who were gone or sick yesterday. Made it during the actual lesson. I love to hear that, Sarah. That's fantastic. No more makeup lessons. You know, probably everyone here knows that that's something I'm a fan of. Teachers not giving out makeup lessons and stressing themselves out with it. Janelle is celebrating her community. Had a couple of friends volunteer to help me transfer data. Oh, that's wonderful. From the app that shall not be named. You know, when I was launching this and Janara was very much alive, it was kind of, in my mind, the app that wouldn't be named. I wasn't going to ever say, Janara does it this way and we do it that way. Because that feels really... But I don't feel bad about saying it now because they are closing down. So if they did it one way, it's okay to acknowledge that we chose to do it differently for XYZ reason. First year of no makeups. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. First teaching day on Saturday. Nice, Reggie. Okay, so let's draw our winner. Are we ready? Remember, members, if you're watching, you can add your name if you're not already in the prize drawing. You don't have to redo it every day, by the way. I'll carry people over. But if you didn't already add yourself to the prize drawing, go ahead and fill out the form. It's below or to the side, wherever the description is for you. It's vibrantmusicteaching.com/bday6, but you'll find the link there. And you can add yourself to the list if you want to be in the drawing to win a prize. So let's pick our winner for today. Got my spinner up. Here we go. Okay, everyone ready? Let's push the button. Who will be our winner today? Do you like my song? Mary! Fantastic! So Mary Brochus is our winner. I'll remove her so she can't win again. That's awesome. Congratulations. We want to open her present now and then we will rewrap it before we send it to her. So Mary, if you're here, congratulations. If not, we'll contact you later. Don't worry. Which color shall we open today? I'm going to take votes in the chat. Just type in the color you want. So we've got purple, red, blue, green, yellow. Purple, red, blue, green, yellow. Which one are we going to open for Mary? I'm moving to the side, by the way, so you can kind of see them, even though they're blurry. Okay, I'll wait a second to give you a chance to vote. Congratulations again, Mary. Oh my gosh, Sorry, my face must have been funny there. The way the chat worked, like everyone kind of entered it within the same time frame. So I just got a jump of like 20 messages in one go. That was very funny. Okay. Ooh, I think I'm getting more purples than anything else. Yeah, okay, we're going to go with the purple. Let's do it. I hope no one minds rustling. This is about to get rustly. So you can mute me. I won't be offended. If you hate rustling paper, I'm not going to be able to avoid it for a second here, okay? We're going to open Mary's gift, and then we're going to rewrap it and send it to her. Here we go. Got the ribbon off in one piece. Oh, Mary's here! Yay! Hi, Mary! Okay, so Mary's gift is the one that has one of the ones that has a few parts to it. So Mary, first of all, you're getting these two guys. So this little guy, isn't he cute? And this little lady right here. So two little critters for you, Mary. And then you are also getting copies of Thinking Theory. So this is the prep book and book one. Those will both be heading over to you. So you can just email me the address you want. We'll have an address for you on file already in the membership. But in case it's changed, it's always good to email me. So you can get your cute little dudes and your lovely books. I hope you love them. We'll be drawing another winner tomorrow. So as I said, if members haven't added their details... Sorry, the wrapping is slipping. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. I'm not making a mess, I swear. If you haven't added your details and you're a member, you can do so at the link which is in the description. Okay? So do that right away. So you're in the running then for the rest of the week. You don't have to do it more than once. If you're not already a member, make sure to consider signing up before next Monday, the 18th. And really think about it before that. Don't try and do it on Monday because you might get the time zones mixed up and then miss the deadline, okay? Because it's happening at 5 p.m. Dublin time next Monday. So it's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern, but like don't wait till the last minute. If you sign up now, you'll get our current rate and you will be locked in at that rate. It never goes up for current members, only new members. So you get to lock in the great rate and you get access to some amazing resources which you can use in your teaching right away. And September is a great time to just like think about trying new things. I know there's a lot of crazy admin stuff going on, but then as you settle into October, that's when you can really think, okay, what do I want to try this month? And dive into the library, try something different, pick something new the next day, etc. Keep going from there. So if you haven't become a member yet, you can do that. Do it right away and you'll be able to enter into the prize drawing, which is fun too. Once you have your membership set up. Ah, Sherry, that's awesome. That's great to hear. Welcome. So, yes, do that right away. Now, I want to remind you about our new app that is out. So that's vividpractice.com if you haven't seen it yet. It just came out last week. And I think it's pretty great. And we're very open to feedback. So we have a feedback form and everything for new feature requests and anything like that. We're very committed to staying responsive to what teachers want and what they need. And we will be back here tomorrow for another birthday celebration live. I hope you love it. It's going to be a different topic each day. So tomorrow we're talking about engaging piano teaching and what that means. What does it mean to be an engaging teacher? You can start to noodle on that in your head, and I will see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.